Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy right here. This, in case you can't tell, is an Apple MacBook Pro with the touch bar and everything. I'm just going to do a quick review here today because honestly, most people don't give a damn anyway, so why bother with the full thing? But this guy is about to be returned, and I figured I'd let you guys know why. First off, two things. Apple haters, I don't care. Not to be flippant, but there is a whole legion of people who exist mostly on, oh my God, Apple's terrible, they make overpriced products. Yes, they do. They make overpriced products. We get it. Yeah, they've got limitations relative to your do-it-yourself PC. Yeah, well, you can't play games. Sure, I get it. I wish I could just go Linux. I wish, but I can't. So here I am. Second thing is that I've been using this guy for probably a month now, and Apple is making an exception to allow me to return this, given some substantial issues with it. So, yeah, at least that's in their favor. But anyways, let's just talk about what's great and what's not so great about this model here. Okay, what's great here, a couple of things. I do like the form factor. This is substantially smaller and thinner than, it's really odd to do this as a tabletop review, by the way, but it's smaller and thinner than the prior generation. I've been using a Retina MacBook Pro for a long time. And so I like that. The fact that this is a smaller machine is pretty great. Another thing that I actually did kind of like is the USB 3 here. This is USB-C 3.0, and it actually serves not only as a USB outlet for, plugging in a hard drive or something with an adapter, but it also lets you charge the machine. And so, theoretically speaking, you can have just one cable going into your machine that captures display, charging, as well as USB peripherals. So I like very much the promise of that, and it is nice to be able to plug your computer in on whatever side is available here. So that's good. This also, as a result, has more USB ports than my prior machine, which has DisplayPort, HDMI, a whole bunch of other things, but only 2 USBs. So this gives me more options. I can plug in more hard drives, that kind of thing. Great, beautiful thing. So that's nice. I like the reflective Apple logo. This little keyboard is the fancy butterfly keyboard. Is, fine, honestly. There's no real issue with it. The touch bar can actually be kind of nice, particularly for tasks like increasing or reducing the brightness of the machine, because you actually get a slider that pops up when it's, fully configured. This guy's wiped and ready. No voiceover, go away. So that's nice. That said, was it super useful for me? No, not particularly. Let's just be real here. Would I prefer to just have the line of keys up here with escape, say? Yes, 100%. One thing that I really did like a lot about this, and frankly the only thing I'm really going to miss returning this, actually two things. First off is the sound quality. The speakers on this are way better than the speakers in the 2012 Retina MacBook Pro. The sound quality is a world above. This is a very, very nice little machine in terms of audio. You can fill a hotel room with good sounding music in a heartbeat. That's a beautiful thing. The other thing is this little region right here. It's hard to see, but you can maybe make out that this is special and different than the rest of it. It's because it's a Touch ID sensor, just like you get on your phone. And so that means that you unlock the computer using your fingerprint if you set it up like that. And that's frankly very nice. It's much nicer to be able to sit down at your computer and just touch that and move on, rather than typing in your password. Is it more secure? No, absolutely. In fact, it's markedly less secure. But it is still a nice thing. Also worth noting, it only lets you do that when the machine's been asleep. If you're turning it back on for the first time, it wants password. So that's good. Anything else that's good about this thing? Display's pretty. I mean, it's a nice computer at some level. But it's got some issues, and let's talk about those. So on the not-so-good side, first off, unfortunately, this guy right here is, well, these little fan slits here on all sides are actually surprisingly sharp. I say this about other things all the damn time, but they need to chamfer this surface. Because as you're grabbing this guy, it is going to be tearing at your hand a little bit. They just need a little bit of an angle right there, and it would be a much nicer overall experience. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Next thing is I did miss MagSafe, which is the Apple version. It's a little magnetic adapter that plugs into the side of the machine and means that if you give a little tug to the cord, it goes out of there with no problem. It's not a huge deal. It hasn't, saved my bacon lately, but it's still a nicer experience than poking and trying to find the right thing. Although it is worth noting, by the way, that the USB is right underneath this end of the speaker grill, so you can always find your way home by doing that. So, I do miss that very much there. Speaking of the ports, the port situation is a little much. They've gone all whole hog on this USB 3, and that's great. And I can see why it's very thin and whatnot, but the problem is you have to use an adapter for every damn thing. Even a USB cable, you need to use an adapter. And I missed USB, the regular version. I'll admit this freely. I mean, so many people have a freaking thumb drive around that, you know, you have to dig through your pack to find an adapter to just plug in a thumb drive. That's not super incredible. And so I wish they'd given us at least one regular USB port or something along those lines. I also have to say that 4 ports felt like my style was crimped on a couple of occasions. If I didn't have one of the fancy port combiners, I felt like I was running out of space sometimes. And it's not super uncommon that you've got, you know, an audio capture box hooked up over here, you've got a thumb drive in there, you've got a display. It's just... So I really felt like if they were going to go whole hog on the USB-C here, they should have at least given me maybe 6 of them. That would have been a little bit nicer, especially given that one is very often going to power. So there's that. I gotta say, overall, the input-output on this guy was not as impressive as I thought it might be. Moving to USB 3.1, even on devices that really should be able to push that kind of bandwidth, this often felt like it was congested, pulling in data from multiple streams and such. I mean, the write speeds are incredible on the hard drive. Oh, I should put that in the good. The hard drive is incredible. 2 terabytes is a lot of space, and it's very, very quick to access, way quicker than prior SSDs even. But still, you know, I felt like there was often congestion on reading things in from external external drives, things like that. That's not just explicable by spinning platters and whatnot. So there you go. That was bad. The thing that was really ugly, and the reason I'm returning this, is that it is terribly buggy in a lot of ways. So for instance, you get an escape key most of the time showing up right here in the touch bar. The thing is, I could never once get the damned escape key to work with force quitting, which on a Mac is Control Option Escape. I'm sorry, Command Option Escape. It doesn't freaking work. If the program is paused or is stalled, you can't use this. What the hell point is that? So you have to go up to the menu and do that using your freaking mouse. That is so ugly I can't even see straight. And so that's ugly. There were also other bugs here. The computer on the whole was just a way buggier experience than I was dealing with on my other Mac. And so that bothered me a lot. But the biggest issue for me is that this computer had major issues with sleeping and waking. The computer would go to sleep, which is well and good, but then, oh, come on. It's trying to talk to me here. Thank you very much there, Siri. No need. But anyways, you would put the computer to sleep, just shut the thing, and then you'd realize it had shut down. Or, worse still, it hadn't shut down at all, and had been chugging along awake in your backpack for your 45-minute bus ride there. And so you get your computer out, and it's freaking hot, and your battery's down to, 80% or something like that. Ugly, ugly, ugly. And then even sometimes if I just leave it on my desk hooked up to a monitor, it would go to sleep at night, and then it would crash. And so, it wouldn't finish a backup. It wouldn't finish a compute. It wouldn't finish a bunch of things. Ugly, freaking ugly, ugly, ugly. And unfortunately, I was told by the Apple people that, yeah, that's just kind of an issue with these. If you use the file vault encryption, which I do have to, the machine will sometimes not wake from sleep. And so their solution was just shut the machine down every damn time. And I understand, crypto guys, it is theoretically more secure to have the computer shut down. That's well and good, but I'm not worried about the CIA coming in here and doing a memory extraction attack on my freaking crypto keys here. That's not my concern. And so the fact that they were completely unable to support File Vault on this machine, according to the Apple people themselves, to the geniuses, is so deeply freaking ugly I can't even see straight, because on my older Mac it worked freaking fine. And so there's some hardware issue that's interacting with some software issue here. And it's so ugly. And the fact that the rest of the machine honestly was kind of buggy and had a bunch of problems was terrible. And that brings us to the ugliest point of all, which is that this machine, even with all of these problems, still goes for like $4,500 if you buy the fully spec'd model. Holy crap, no. That is a price that would be acceptable if this were God's gift to computing. If this were the second coming in laptop form, Great, A-OK, that's a price one can pay. But you cannot sell something that is this damned expensive and full of bugs that a computer from 2012 doesn't have. No, Apple, that's not how this works. I have been an Apple guy for many, many, many years. I mean, seriously, I was on Mac OS 7 at one point in time. Or was it Mac OS back then? I think it was. Before OS X, like I legitimately fought with myself, thinking whether to go to OS X or not, and the Intel shift perturbed me. I have been a Mac guy forever, but Apple is losing it. They are losing their focus on quality in favor of shipping about 1 billion things here. And so that bugs the crap out of me. And so I am honestly very happy to move back to my old computer and send this guy down the road. My current plan is to wait until the next generation of this and then give it another try, see if they iron some of these issues out. Hopefully the file vault thing will get fixed when they move to APFS, which will move them to a, a different method of encryption and whatnot. Maybe it won't have those problems. I don't freaking know. But as it is, I'm honestly really glad to be able to get out of this at what I got into it. And I think Apple is being generous in that way. But I don't recommend it, this machine. I don't feel like they did a great job here, and moving back into my old laptop, which I've added a much bigger hard drive or SSD to, feels honestly better. And that's super freaking ugly. So there you go. This is my review of the MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar and the 4 ports here. There were lots of great aspects to it, but Apple, you gotta get it back, because ugly. Anyways, hope this is interesting to you, and have a good one. Bye now.